We should not shock you. Most people, we just haven't.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know how much money Georgetown got? But I don't think that would have this. That would be a good question. So even for the registry, but I think it would.
Far religious right took over at the local level. And they literally banned having fun on Sundays. And so the folks on Grand Rapids that would come into town that were funding the train with their rides, they couldn't come here on Sunday anymore. They didn't have any reason. So they stopped riding the train. The train went away. So we don't have that commuter rail anymore because of religious fundamentalism taking over at the local level. That wasn't the most recent time that they destroyed fun in our community. Religious fundamentalists also took over Laketown Township about a little more than 50 years ago. There used to be a ski resort there. In fact, one of the owners of the biggest ski resorts in Vail learned how to ski in Laketown Township, but the religious extremists there wouldn't give them their alcohol license. It's the same war that we were fighting when we tried to get a beer tent at Tulip Time, and all of the religious extremists said that the world was literally going to end if we did that, and the only thing that happened was more fun. So I would like to think that my community can think about the relationship between fun and freedom, and how the expression of freedom should and could land in a place that is fun. And I'm not even talking about like specific fun for specific groups that you guys are so worried about. I'm talking about fun for everybody. And you all dove into the wrong side of a 100-year war on fun. You didn't even know it was happening. And it's one that you all were already losing. You guys lost the second we put that awesome beer tent up. Thank you. Is
there anyone else that would like to make public comment? Right, seeing none. Next is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Okay, agenda is approved. We have one consent resolution to approve, which is the minutes from the March 21, 2023 Talent and Recruitment Committee meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, there's a motion and support. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. All right, motion passes. We have one action item today regarding nominations for a war veteran seat on the Veteran Affairs Committee. There were 7 war veterans that applied for one open seat. A very special thank you to all the veterans that applied. It was an honor to get to hear from them and their desire to serve in the county. Many of them spoke about their desire to continue giving back. And my personal hope is that some of them may feel called to serve our vets in other ways, as they had true interest in serving our heroes of freedom. So our action item today is to place into nomination and forward to the Board of Commissioners to fill one war veteran seat vacancy beginning January 27, 2023 and ending December 31, 2025. The interview subcommittee is recommending Eric Johnson. We will need to take a roll call vote on this, and you should state one name from this list. First, can we get a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to place in a nomination and forward to the Board of Commissioners the names as voted.
Oh, yeah.
That work?
Carly.
To fill one seat on the war veteran or on the Veterans Committee,
Support.
I'm sorry.
Veterans Affairs.
Any discussion?
Yeah,
Yes.
could you clarify the motion real quick? To place into nomination, the names voted?
So I was just reading right from the paper to place into nomination and forward to the Board of Commissioners, the names. So as voted, is that the correct terminology? Because this committee is going to vote?
I think what we could do is we could ask you to read all the names and then it's still there. And then obviously I told you that the interview subcommittee is who we're recommending. I think that's what we've done on other ones. So if you'd like to list all of them, that'd be great.
All right, I'm going to read the whole recommended motion. To place into nomination and forward to the Board of Commissioners the names of Eric Johnson, David Chesney, Charles Murray, Nicholas Matiash, James Chiodo, Joshua Miller, and William Haynes, and to select one to fill one war veteran seat vacancy beginning January 27, 2023 and ending December 31, 2025.
Is there a second?
Support.
Right, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Yes,
Yeah,
Commissioner
thank you.
Zylstra.
Appreciate that. I wonder if you could just kind of go through some of your thinking on these 7 candidates. I did read through their resumes. They all, seemed to have a great resume, so maybe you can kind of talk about what led you to Eric Johnson.
Be happy to. Commissioner Ebel or Cosby, would you like to start?
Oh, sure. Well, outside of the military experience, also Eric has a tremendous professional background and then a history of volunteering in our community on multiple levels. Very enthusiastic about this opportunity. And I think he's going to bring some innovation potentially to the role as well, but not to take, those are no takeaways necessarily from the other candidates. They were all fantastic. It was really, I mean, it was a real opportunity to have a chance to meet all these individuals and hear about their backgrounds and the work they've been doing, both in the military and afterwards.
Anything else you wanted to add, Commissioner Ebel?
Yes, they were all very good candidates. It was hard to decide, and I know I said, is it possible that we can have all of them? But we could only choose one, and making that decision was very difficult because they were all great candidates. And I feel that at this time, Eric Johnson would probably, like I said, they were all very good and very well. They were all of them pretty much could bring wonderful experience to this committee. And so Eric Johnson was also the one that I thought would be the best candidate at this time, just based on everything that he said during his interview.
Commissioner Belknap?
Just for the sake of the audience, all of these candidates, are they veterans? Have they served? Okay,
All of them had to serve active duty as a war veteran for this particular seat.
okay.
Yep. And then I think Commissioner Cosby and Commissioner Ebel covered most of what I had already thought. I think some things that stood out to me were just his empathy for that transition to civilian life, that a vet's oath never ends. I enjoyed his project management, the pragmatics, knowing how to initiate, implement what resources are available, looking at the needs of the community currently. Budget and human resources is a strength. He's got past board experience, not with this particular one, but other boards. So that common decency and empathy and understanding for vets was there, and I really appreciated that. So,
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your clarification on that.
any other comments? Questions, Commissioner Ebel?
Yes, I did want to say something that really impressed me, that he says, ask not what you can do for your county. Ask not what your county can do for you, but ask what you can do for your county. That's pretty impressive statement.
Crosses all party lines, doesn't it?
I believe we had a motion and a second. Are we ready for a roll call vote? All right. Oh, go ahead.
Mr. Belknap,
Eric Johnson,
Mrs. Curran,
Eric Johnson.
Ms. Cosby,
Eric Johnson,
Mr. Bonema,
Eric Johnson.
Mrs. Rhodey,
Eric Johnson.
Mr. Zylstra,
Eric Johnson.
Mr. Moss,
Eric Johnson,
Mrs. Ebel,
Eric Johnson.
Mrs. Medema,
Eric Johnson.
With 9 votes, Eric Johnson is the recommendation.
All right. So we will recommend Eric Johnson to the Board of Commissioners. So that ends the action items, and there are no committee reports today. So we are up to our second opportunity for public comment. Is there anyone that would like to make a public comment? Any public comments? All right, seeing none, we're at the end of our meeting and we are adjourned.